Um, I apologise that at some periods this video may appear to be a little bit sermony, I guess, but it's the only way I can explain what I believe is going on. Now, everyone knows about Victoria Police in Australia. It's made international news, and our draconian laws with our 23-hour lockdowns, even though there's next to no COVID cases, and if you believe, and 5 kilometre curfews, and police dragging women out of cars, and arresting pregnant women and throwing them to the ground, and grabbing women by the throat and throwing them to the ground. And everyone's seen all those videos, but just let me tell you something, like that one the other day where the pregnant woman was arrested, thrown to the ground on the beach for not wearing a mask, and whilst taking her kids swimming to the beach, and arrested and thrown to the ground and assaulted by police, and then dragged off with, and obviously the men surrounding her were outraged, quite obviously, but it's funny how there were also a bunch of men there that were also not wearing masks, but they weren't arrested. But of course, what causes the most outrage and impact? The pregnant woman, of course. And a lot of people will say this is a sign of the government and the police trying to say, oh, don't go against the rules, don't try and stand up against the tyranny, or this is what's going to happen to you, and the biggest impact would be what would cause the biggest shock and people to be afraid the most would be videos like that pregnant woman there, right? Well, just let me tell you something. I believe that all of these videos could be setups, and it's either, and what I mean by setups, there always seems to be these dramatic behaviour I've never seen before by police, and there always seems to be a camera right there, doesn't there? There always seems to be someone capturing it right there, and it's always around. It's if the police were trying to hide, it's always around a large group of people generally, and this could be either one or two things. They don't want us to stand up against the tyranny, or they're trying to wake us up, and I believe they could be trying to wake us up. As Q said, sometimes you can't tell them. You have to show them. And all of these, from people that are under about 30, for people under 30 that's been educated under this totally left indoctrinated education system. It's been changing incrementally for the last 45 years, but as I said, for people under 30 that have been educated under this totally left, socialist, communist, indoctrinated education system, they don't know the cruelties and the totalitarian behaviour of of regimes such as Nazi Germany and Mao's China and Stalin and anything like that, because if anything, they've been lauded. Well, not so much Nazi Germany; they can't do that. But the true the true history of Stalin hasn't been told. The true history of Mao's been manipulated by these the leftist education system. And so therefore, a whole generation of people have been brainwashed. So as Q says, you can't tell them, you have to show them. And we've been shown right now. And I believe that Trump could be in control of Australia also, because there's been tunnels dug up all over the place. There was a tunnel dug up under Spring Street, under Victorian Parliament a few days back. Now, what's in that tunnel? Is it children? Quite possibly. And, you know, there's something I have to confess to you all. I would have only considered myself a Christian since, or fully believed in God since 2016, I would guess. I had no other choice. The first time I really prayed, instead of just going, oh God, why are you doing this to me, and being selfish, or why is this going on, why is that going on, whatever, and please stop this, and yelling, and, you know, basically being abusive to God, telling God to step in. The first time I really, truly prayed, honestly, was for Donald Trump's election, because I knew in my own heart, in my own soul, that if Hillary won, we were destroyed, we were going to nuclear war, and it was all over. I knew what a demigod. I knew about the child trafficking and everything else in Haiti. Not as much as I know now about the child trafficking networks, but I knew about it. So if Hillary won, I knew we were finished. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And then the Billy Bush tape came out. And I said, they're going to run that at nauseum. And I said, it's all over. I said I was really upset and really disgruntled, because I knew we were finished. I thought I knew we were finished. I said, oh, it's all over. And my brother God uses strange creatures, I tell you. My brother turned around to me and he said, it's all going to be okay. I said, what do you mean? And he goes to me, women know how real guys speak in locker rooms about other chicks and stuff like that. He said, if anything, my brother said, if anything, it's going to show that Donald Trump's human. And I said, okay. And I think another mistake that they made was that Billy Bush tape came out 3 weeks before the election. And they just ran it ad nauseum over and over and over again. It lost its impact. People got sick of it, sanitised to it. And then also Trump did the brilliant debate with Kathy Shelton and all the rest of it, and Juanita Broderick and Paula Jones and all the women that got raped by the Clintons, and that was brilliant. And Trump won, but in the course of my praying, I felt a wave over me, like something was going to be okay. But maybe it didn't happen. But I also felt, I don't know whether it was a message from God in my own voice, or whether it was just me saying to myself, oh, if you really want this to happen, put something on the line. Now, God wouldn't be happy about this part, but I put something on the line. I put $20 on Trump at the odds of $4.25, and as you know, the election was over in an hour. Hillary was out to $5, and Trump was $1.05 or something, and the election was over. And all of a sudden, you know, crazy things are happening. But see, I used to think my attitude used to be belligerent. I used to see all the evil, but my thoughts and my philosophy was, why doesn't God step in and do anything about it? But now I realise what God's done. What God has done is showed us incremental evil from the devil, as for many decades. You know, you've got the breaking up of the nuclear family. You've got the hippie movement mixed with first wave feminism to demonise men, started up by the CIA. You've got the sexualisation of children and the transgender movement. Before that, of course, you had the formation of these devil-controlled unilateral organisations such as the UN that probably do facilitate 3/4 of the child trafficking in the world. God has tried to show us this evil, incremental by incremental, for decades, and all God's wanted us to do is stop and go, hang on, grow as a human race, and take control of it ourselves. But we haven't done that, and we haven't done that to a big enough extent, and God's gone, oh geez, I've tried to show them, but I've had to step in again. And he's used Donald Trump as a vehicle. Now, I haven't been the perfect Christian. I've sinned, I've done bad things, and because I've only really, and I'm still not there fully, I don't think, I'm still working on it. I still haven't fully crossed over, but haven't been the perfect Christian. I know Bible passages, but I've never actually sat down and read the Bible. I have never been to church, but even when I'm fully crossed, even when I've made that full journey, I do not believe I will go to church unless Trump and QAnon clean everything out, because I believe the church, in particular the Catholic Church, has been taken over by Satanists. So why would I go to church? And God says worship in your own way, and the way that churches are, I don't plan to go at the moment. I'm sure there are some good small churches, but overall the church has been taken over by Satanists. That's quite obvious. Look at this Pope. So everyone has to make their own journey, and I'm beginning to make mine, and I do believe that the current draconian behaviour in my state, particularly my Premier, who has been told to do this, because in my belief he could be up on treason charges for selling my state out to China, and some believe that my Premier is wearing an ankle bracelet, and some believe my Prime Minister is wearing an ankle bracelet as well. But we'll see what happens in the future. But God has tried to show us, and we didn't wake up fast enough. and now he's stepped in. But before I go, I just need people to pray for the people that aren't ready to go to the next dimension, aren't ready to go to the new world, that have been living under the slave system for so many years that they can't live without it. There is going to be, for the people that know what's going on, are excited for the new world and are ready to jump into the next dimension. But for people who aren't ready, unfortunately there's going to be mass depression, there's going to be alcoholism, there's going to be suicides, and it's going to be tragic. And I just want everyone to pray that we wake up as many people as we possibly can before the new dawn and the new world is created. Because I believe we are stepping into a new world, a better world, just as long as we let ourselves do it. The devil's had his run and it's time for God now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all. Thank you very much. Pray for all our souls. Bye.